Hi everybody, I'm Andrew Roberts and I'm here with Jane Harling and Joe Harling of convertingproperty.com. That's correct, isn't it?
That's absolutely correct.
Absolutely. Got to get the website right at the start. And just in case you didn't get that, convertingproperty.com will appear down here. Now, we're here and Joe and Jane are experts at doing what it says on the tin, converting properties. And they're going to show everybody tonight at the Great Property Meet loads of things about converting properties. Now, I'm here to do a behind the scenes interview with them and ask some of the things that aren't going to be coming up tonight. So, to kick things off, what 3 things would you do differently now that you haven't done before, or that you've done before? Now, who wants to take that first?
I'll go first.
Okay, Joe.
What I would do differently, which I wish I'd known when we first started, many moons ago, 25 years ago, was it isn't necessarily the price. It's the terms where you can buy the property or control the property. So it could be something for £400,000. Well, I could never afford £400,000. But so long as you get the terms right, you may pay more for it and you could make more money. So terms, especially in the commercial world, are very, very important.
Totally agree with you. Have you got anything to add on to that, Joe?
I could absolutely cry at the missed opportunities.
Yeah.
We should have got into property 10 years earlier.
So what were you doing before property then?
We
Just
had a
to
chain
wind
of
back.
hairdressing salons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we actually had a 2-bed flat above one of the salons that stayed empty, gathering, hoarding junk for 10 years. Because we were
10 years at
hairdressers.
£400 a month.
We actually
Sorry,
got
I'm not trying to rub it in there. That's like £40,000.
that into 4 flats.
Can I just add? When we were busy in our hairdressing days cutting hair, we viewed another salon which had a flat above it, which we didn't buy because we thought, we're hairdressers.
Why would we want to spend money on a flat? We've already got a nice place to live. You don't know what you don't know, do you?
How do you know that?
Well, we should have got educated a lot earlier, shouldn't we?
We should have.
The thing is that there wasn't any education in the 90s.
No.
No. So you just
When did you get into property? If you said in the 90s.
Well, we bought our first...
Wind the clock back
Well,
for
we
me.
bought our first commercial freehold in 1988.
Okay.
And we operated our business out of it. Then we made the first of our big mistakes because we also bought a lot of leases. Why do we buy leases? Because we knew no different. Once we understood the error of our ways, we then bought freeholds and moved our businesses into the freeholds, and we later sold those businesses and still own the freeholds.
Yep.
But you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know until you know it.
No, and then you look back now, 25 years later, and think, I wish I'd started, when buy-to-let mortgages came out in the mid-90s. Why weren't we there? Why do we wait, to do a lot more than we could do, yeah.
Well, when I was in the legal profession, the thing I learned was the benefit of hindsight is so invaluable.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't buy hindsight. You have to experience it first. So, I can relate to that. I think
so. Also, learning from past, it worries us. There's so many people out there who haven't experienced downturns as well as upturns. And of course, we well remember, the interest rates when it hit 15%. And, we remember the 2008, 2009 credit crunch and that kind of thing. And I think both of those times we should have sold a lot of stuff the year before when the prices were high, so we positioned ourselves to be in a great place to take advantage when the downturn came.
Yeah.
Well, third time lucky. Last year we sold a lot.
So, good luck for next year.
Yeah,
good luck for
definitely.
next year. Have you got anything else to add on to that, Joe?
I did actually, and listening to Jane made me forget it. A big thing, what was a problem to us then, and still is a problem to a lot of people now, is, I haven't got the money, so I can't afford it. So, yes, you do need money, but it doesn't necessarily have to be your money.
But we've got some very, very strong feelings on that because we see so much people borrowing off of private investors and this kind of stuff, and we just think that there's a lot of irresponsibility kind of going on, and we just think it could blow up into an almighty disaster. So we've got very strict guidelines
I can add to
for
that
our mentees on
So-
that angle.
You do need money. It may not be your money, but you must make sure it's responsible how you pay it back.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Too many people talking about how easy it is to raise money,
But they don't talk about
paying
you've
it
got
back.
to pay it back.
Well,
Yeah.
You've also got to get your numbers right.
Oh,
When you're
definitely.
going
Oh,
into a
definitely.
deal, you've got to get your numbers spot
Definitely.
on.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
if you're promising and
people's
committing to
hard
pay
earned-
back somebody's
earned
money,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the numbers have got to stack. you know.
And you've got to allow, if there's going to be a downturn and you can't pay back, is in your agreement, what's going to happen.
And not to rely on a rising market to pay those investors back.
No,
Because it
definitely.
may not happen.
You have to work on the basis of the current market or a
Only
falling market.
the shoe was going to fall.
Yeah. So, moving on, what are common mistakes that you see people make? Be they newbies or experienced people. What are some common mistakes you regularly see?
Well, can I go first here?
Go
Go
on.
for it,
Because
Jo.
one of the
Ladies
things that
first. Go for
really
it.
winds us up is all this smoke and mirrors, hot air and everything all over the internet where everybody talks about how they're going to squeeze in, maximum, oh, I can get 50 flats in that, I can do 100 studios and so on, and the GDV is going to be £10 million. And everyone says, wow, you're smashing it, And that didn't mean anything at all, because I think the biggest mistake that people make is they don't check the demand.
I was going to say,
Is
the
there any
one thing you've got to
demand
have
for the
is demand for
studios?
what you're
Otherwise,
providing.
otherwise there's absolutely no point. And also, it really doesn't matter if the GDV is 10 million if you're sharing it with 30 other investors.
Yeah.
What's the profit and what's your share of the profit? That's the only thing that counts.
No, I totally get that. I mean, I look at the high street and there is humongous opportunities in the high street. For example, Marks and Spencer's shutting stores, Debenhams shutting stores and other chains. And the big thing for me very much is you've got to have supply and demand. And I look at it and go, well, with these big stores, what organisation is going to take on a building the size of Marks and Spencer? So we have to re-innovate those buildings.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at things like taking the ground floor, subdividing it up into smaller commercial units, a tattoo parlour, a coffee shop, experiential places that people want to go and hang out. And then taking the second floors, third floors of the buildings and actually making those into accommodation or offices where you're creating footfall for the businesses below, either from the accommodation on the third floor, the office on the second, down to the ground floor where the retail is. And we've got to reinvent our high street. So I'm with you on that. You've got to check out demand. And if there isn't demand, you have to try and create that demand to make it work.
Because so many people just follow like sheep and they automatically convert everything into flats. And certainly at the moment in the centre of Bristol, offices are worth more.
Yeah.
And so if you've got a plot of land and you're going to build something, build some grade A offices because they're actually worth more than
They're
flats
a
at the
premium.
moment. Yeah,
And you
because-
don't have tenant hassles because it's FRI leases. That's fully repairing and insuring leases where they pay for the repairs, they pay for the insurance.
no
All you have to
sticking,
do is provide the building. There's no compliance and licensing
no voids
and
after 6 months and nice dilapidations when they go and leave it in a mess. Not relying on the
so much
rent,
more stress free.
Yeah, I know,
But
absolutely.
we'll find out about that next month with Ranjan Bhattacharya.
Ah, okay.
So I won't divulge any more of that for now. But Joe, have you got anything to add to that? Because I'm not meant to be
Peer
I'm
pressure.
interviewing you.
We meet a lot of people who been on courses,
Yeah.
and because other people on their courses seem to be doing more than what they're doing, they go out and put offers in when it isn't a deal. Just because, I'm doing this, I'm doing that.
Motivated buyers, they turn
They are motivated buyers.
Yeah.
And you will find, again, you'll go on Facebook and social media and you'll see people, I did 6 viewings yesterday, I put in 4 offers. Okay, do they stack? But there could be people who are kind of quite new to property. You think, oh, these people are doing so well. How do they do it? Oh, I've got to put offers in. But you've got to make sure they actually work.
So we actually spend quite a proportion of our time actually helping people to get out of the situations which they've manoeuvred themselves into, which they really shouldn't have done at all in the very first place.
No, I get what you're on about there. I see it so often as well, motivated buyers. Yeah. So to sort of wrap this up with a final question, what would you give as a piece of advice, one piece of advice each, to somebody starting out and thinking converting properties is their bag? What one piece of advice, if you can, with your 24 years worth of experience?
Create what the market is looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Don't read the media or don't believe what the media says.
Yeah.
Because that may not actually be true. You know, there's actually really good demands on the high street at the moment, but not for certain types of retail.
Absolutely.
I think that's the main thing. And the other thing I would say is don't get carried away with the smoke and mirrors and let your ego get in the way. It's all about the bottom line, and that's all that matters.
Brilliant.
Yeah, just to add to that, if you always look for advice, always look for people to guide you, people who've made mistakes, who in the trenches doing it. So if you're getting advice from somebody, or you're talking to somebody and somebody will say to you, oh, don't do that, don't do this. So well, obviously, you've done this before. Can you tell me what experience you've had? Yeah. Oh, well, no, I haven't had any experience. It's just what I've been told. Check that whoever you're getting advice from actually doing what's happening now.
I use the analogy of if you've got a medical condition, you'd go to a doctor. You wouldn't take advice off a teacher.
No.
So you've got to get professional advice on what you're doing, and only listen to a professional. So that's brilliant.
Absolutely.
Joe and Jane, it's been fantastic having you here today, and I'm looking forward to tonight, where you're going to be sharing so much at the Great Property Meet.
We will.
And if you want to contact Joe and Jane, you can get you via your website. Is that the best place? So that's convertingproperty.com, which will appear just down here. And you can contact myself. I'm Andrew Roberts from the Great Property Meet and Property Investor Reward Club. And you can get me via either thegreatpropertymeet.co.uk or perk-card.co.uk. Thank you very much, Joe and Jane. It's been a pleasure having you here today.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you. Thank you.